How are you guys doing today? Today, I want to talk about 10 credit card myths that you need to stop believing today. Now, I'm going to do a two-part series. I'm going to break it up into 5 each. So I'll do one video of 5 of those myths, and then I'll do another follow-up video of 5 of those myths. I want to keep the videos down short. I know that the attention span of myself and a lot of people, you lose attention really fast, so I don't want to do, a long video. I'd rather break them up into 2 short videos. But 10 myths. The first 5 coming to you now, so stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector. Now, I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all, from skip tracing to collecting to management, and I've owned 2 debt collection agencies. For the past 8 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit, and now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. Let's go. There's a lot of information out there for you guys with regards to credit cards and debt in general. There are a lot of information. You can look through YouTube. There are a lot of people out there who talk about it, and there are a lot of conflicting information with regards to some of this stuff. But nevertheless, I want to try and help you with regards to these 10 myths, and we're going to go through the first 5 of them today, okay? So, let's start out. Myth number 1, carrying large balances will help my credit score. Now, even me myself, not understanding anything about credit, thinking, okay, well, if I have a $1,000 credit card, I should spend $700 or $800 on that credit card, right? And the thought process was, well, how's the credit card company going to make money if I'm not charging the card up and they're not charging me interest? In the beginning, I used to think, well, hey, that's probably why they give you those large balances. They want you to spend up to the max amount on those credit cards or a large amount, and they want you to pay the minimum payment because a lot of the interest comes in. And by me doing that, it'll help with regards to my credit score. Unfortunately, that is not true. Utilization is a large part of your FICO score completely, right? And your utilization, typically they want to keep it at 30% or below. So if you had the $1,000, typically they don't want you to go over $300 on that credit card, because then once you go over that time span, you seem a little more risky, and they want to keep it that way. Now, obviously, those of you who follow me and who know me, I say keep the balance at 0. Now, if you have $1,000 on that credit card, spend the $1,000, but when the paid due date is due, pay it to 0 balance. That way you pay no interest or nothing. Visa and MasterCard, as you guys probably know or you don't know, not only do they make money off the interest, which is a very small, minute amount of money that they actually make, they make more money off of each time you slide that transaction. I don't know if any of you guys ever remember going to, in the inner cities, a lot of times if you use credit at the local market stores or local liquor stores, they'll charge you like $1.35 if you use credit. And a lot of times it's because when you're a merchant and you have that machine, you're charged a fee every time somebody makes a transaction, because Visa charges you. So the more you slide the card, the more money typically Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover makes. But having a high balance will do nothing but hurt you. Okay. Number 2, getting married results in a joint score. A lot of people out there, I've had people ask me that before. No, I'll tell you this right off the bat, especially as a debt collector. Typically within a family unit, what ends up happening is you'll have somebody with very good credit and you have someone with bad credit. Hopefully the reality is, like with me and my wife, we're on the same page. We both have good credit. But the reality is, with regards to credit cards and so forth, because her history length is a lot better, to be honest with you, even though I have all the knowledge, she always gets approved for higher credit card balances. Not only that, but our FICO scores are always different because she has credit cards that I don't have, and vice versa. I have credit cards that she don't have. But nevertheless, just because you get married does not mean that you guys are going to have joint FICO scores. You're still individuals. You're still responsible for your own thing. You have your own separate social security numbers. The only thing that's combined with regards to you two is if you add them as an authorized user. If you add your significant other as an authorized user, only within that credit card will show that. But as we already know, as an authorized user, if things go bad, it will not hurt your credit. You can actually get it off of your credit. Okay, so that's myth number 2. Myth number 3, this is something that I get all the time. I even learned on my own for the first time in my life probably about 3 years ago. But myth number 3 is paying off my auto loan will help my credit score. The reality is, one of the things you have to understand is yes, it's a great thing. You had an auto loan for 10 grand. You pay that balance off. You got 36 months to do so. And in your mind, you're thinking, well, hey, this is my last payment. I'm done. I've paid that last payment. What happens is it shows up as a closed account. Yes, it's in good standings. Yes, it'll still show on your credit report as an account that you actually paid off, but it shows a zero balance. So your utilization for that installment loan and your credit mix goes away. So typically your FICO score will dip a little bit. And then after some time, 3 to 6 months, it'll go back to where it was before. But paying off your car, I know logically you would think, oh, I paid it off, my FICO score should go up. But no, because within your credit mix, it takes that installment loan and puts it in a separate thing. And so now, depending on your credit profile, if that was the only installment loan that you had, then your credit mix, which represents 10% of your FICO score, will be changed. And so you'll see a little dip in that, okay? Number 4, myth is this: checking my credit score online will hurt my score. The reality is no, that won't hurt you personally doing it. There are a lot of companies out there with regards to checking your credit score. You can check your credit score. It will not hurt your FICO score at all. There are a lot of places that do that. Credit Karma, freecreditreport.com, as well as a lot of banks. Like with my bank, I bank with a credit union. They give me a free FICO score. I can look at that as much as I want to. It's updated. It's updated once a month with regards to what has transpired, and I can see it, and it does not hurt your FICO score. Getting a copy of your credit report does not hurt your FICO score. But if creditors or debt collection agencies pull a copy of your credit report, and in that case, yes, it will hurt your FICO score. That inquiry will, okay? So you checking your credit score will not hurt you. Number 5. Now, this was something that I used to think as well, so don't feel bad if you thought this, but using my debit card will help me build my credit score. The reality is, with debit cards, they're not placed on your credit report. So that's why when I speak to people, when I talk to people about your credit, I tell you use your credit cards as debit cards, right? Because the psychological part between a debit card is, if I have $500 in that account, I try and spend over $500, I put my PIN number, I don't have that in there, it'll decline. So it keeps you in check. It takes a little more responsibility with regards to your credit. But the reality is, debit cards aren't placed on your credit report, right? So it does nothing good for you. That's why I always tell people, use a credit card. Now, you don't want to pay interest, pay it to a zero balance before the due date or on the due date of the card, so that way they don't add any interest, but at least it shows on your credit card as you use that card and you keep the balance utilization down to zero or as closest to zero as possible. That's being reported each month. When you use your debit card, which is like cash to a certain extent, there's nothing being reported to any of the credit bureaus. So using your debit card does not help you. All it does is you spend your own cash. You lose out on rewards. You lose out on cash back. You lose out on all sorts of things when you don't use a credit card. But remember, psychologically, you have to train your mind to think your credit card is your debit card, okay? So those are the first 5 myths. I will do another video explaining the last 5 myths. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. Be sure to like and subscribe this video. And as always, you be great.